What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G. I'm alongside my longtime best friend in the world.
Best friend, we're boyfriend and girlfriend for 7 years. You get my nerves. Somebody tell Alex.
What is going on, YouTube? Do you think you deserve one?
I do. I'm wifey material. I'm kind. I'm caring. I cook.
Shouldn't I define those things?
I clean.
You cook it clean?
Yes. I cook, I clean.
You've made one meal for me. You know what? That's not true. You made like 3 meals for me ever.
Because you don't eat what I eat. You ate up all that macaroni though.
You also don't clean.
I do.
Clearly, because by the looks of this apartment.
I do clean every Sunday.
No, you don't. I just steamed this couch last week. When the last time you steamed the couch and vacuumed the carpet? When was the last time you did any of those things?
I do thorough cleaning of the bathroom.
The one bathroom that you use, the second bathroom?
I do both.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No.
Yes.
You only start cleaning if I'm cleaning. Yep. Oh, Anyway, I'm Alex. I'm alongside Mal. This is the A Couple of Things podcast.
Well, we talk about a lot of things.
We talk about all types of things. First things first. I'm the realist. Cowboys won, so that's important. We're taking the division.
Cowboys
the Giants suck. The Giants are horrible. I mean,
when was the last time
prayers
the Cowboys
for
won a championship?
In a really long time, I still have more than the Giants, which is crazy.
But you haven't been alive
prayers
to see it. I've been alive to see my team.
Prayers to, and I'm still a fan of them. And y'all still can't catch up. Prayers to everybody that was injured.
Giant Nation.
That was injured.
Yeah, that's why we lost.
During the game.
That's why we lost. We lost our quarterback. We lost 2.
That's not why you lost. The Cowboys actually should technically be undefeated. They should have beat the Bucks, but Tom Brady, the Buccaneers. But Tom Brady came back. Tom Brady came back in like the last minute, 30 seconds. So that
Yeah, but we all know. Yeah.
But other than that, we're 4-1, and the rest of the NFC East is horrible.
Let's see if they finish, because the Cowboys always do good during the season and they never make it to the end. So we'll see.
Never make it to the end.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, losing to Aaron Rodgers and everybody else.
Anyway, at least the only thing we agree on is the Yankees. At least we have a commonality. That's why I'm wearing this jacket. It's your jacket, even though they lost. But
I'm glad they lost.
At least we have that commonality.
I'm glad they lost because they didn't deserve to go to the World Series. So I'm glad they got it out the way. Because if they would have won and then they would be playing the Rays right now, they're not being... Nobody's been able to really beat the Rays in the AL East for like a couple years now. Like the Rays have really just been smacking us around. I'm glad they got it out the way and I could go focus on sports, other sports, basketball, that kind of stuff.
Because that's why what gets messy is when the baseball season starts to like carry over into the football season.
Then I definitely stop caring, especially if the Yankees aren't. If the Yankees aren't it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what that was on the pumpkin.
On the pumpkin?
Yeah, I thought that's your gum. I got scared. I was like, wait, why is this fungus coming out of the pumpkin? But yeah, maybe next year. I would love to see the Yankees like do well, because it's been a minute since they've been to the World Series. They were close so many times. I just can't get through. Giants, last time they were on a really good streak was when we were in high school. Those were the good days. When we had Victor Cruz. It's salsa.
It was all a fluke.
What do you mean it was a fluke? Don't be mad because you ain't seen your team win since you've been on this earth. Maybe one day.
That's not me being mad. I was rooting for the Giants in that Super Bowl.
True. The best Super Bowl was when the Giants broke the Patriots streak.
That's what I'm talking about.
God.
Like that catch on the helmet. Like, come on.
Best Super Bowl.
Come on.
I wish I was older because I wish that I had a better memory. But that was hilarious because I hate the Patriots and I hate the Steelers and I hate the Packers. If anybody want to know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was our sports segment. Yeah. I got nothing else.
Other than that, I got a few topics. Okay, disclaimer. Well, not even disclaimer, but I'm going to try because we made our bet. We shook hands. But we say 200? I forgot. No ranting today. I'm a happy person today. Well, I'm not going to rant. I promise you I'm not going to rant.
Oh, that's nasty.
I'm not going to rant.
No, nothing. I know why you said that.
No, I'm just saying I'm not
See, that's
in a
why
ranting mood. I'm not in a ranting mood. What? I can't
Aw.
be. I'm not in a ranting mood today.
Aw.
You're dying, first of all.
Aw.
I
Ew,
don't
why you
know.
smiling so hard?
Because you're being annoying. Because you're trying to be funny. I don't care about you trying to be funny. Get up. We have.
Yeah, you talking about the topics.
I'm just having a bad mood today, so. What? It was a good weekend. My dad's birthday yesterday. He turned 60.
Now it's a good weekend. Go ahead.
Anyway, let's first talk about how Instagram was down. That was last week already, right?
God, that
or
felt like
Monday.
it was
That felt like so long ago.
Like 4 weeks ago.
But I think that was Monday or Tuesday. Instagram was down for like 7 hours, and it gave me a realization that a lot of people have a social media addiction that I feel like it needs to be addressed. Like, I feel like that exposed so many people's addiction, and it actually scared me how many people were like running to Twitter. Twitter had like the most like engagement in like ever, I think. Like, it was crazy. So many people were just there like freaking out. Like, the fact that people even noticed right away. I don't even use Instagram like that, so I'm like, the fact that people noticed right away is like, that's already kind of alarming. But I just felt like it really exposed the social media addiction that like needs to be addressed, because this is something like social media is still relatively new, and I feel like there's definitely going to be studies done about people with this addiction, especially kids who are growing up with it and growing up with phone and technology, because it's actually bad. Like, when you check screen time sometimes, like, you know, can't relate, but for me, I kind of see like how I'm like have a phone addiction. I'm like, this is not good. So what do you think? Like, do you think there's ever going to be a time where we like address a social media addiction?
No. I mean, they're trying to now with
No,
Facebook.
but you don't think eventually
No.
I think like, no, like 10, 20 years from now?
No. Because it's
Do you
been,
think
it's
it's real?
been 10, 20 years.
Do you think it's real?
Think about it. It's been 10, 20
No,
years
but
and they've done studies.
But think
already.
of people like your brother and my sister. They're like that generation that's really growing up with phones. And even then, not really. It's more so kids who are like 15, 16 now. Like, you know, their age, like maybe 14, 15, 16. They growing up with these phones. And I think their generation is going to see an extreme addiction, because us our age, we had that experience of being outside. We know what it was like before Facebook, social, like Instagram. We knew what life was like before Twitter was that popping. Like, some of these kids don't know that. They're jumping right into a huge boom of social media, and I feel like it's gonna be definitely some case study.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be any different from what's already out there though.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not like they haven't already done that kind of stuff. I know what you're saying, like, but think about it. Some of these kids were born in like 2000. Like, my brother was born in 2003, so that
Maya,
minus
2002.
Twitter was 2009, 2008, something like that. When I first made my Twitter or something.
That's
like that.
true.
So
they were
as far as
already
they
kinda
know,
on it.
as far as they know, they've been on these things their whole life. I do know what you mean, though.
But we see it. Like, I don't know if you see it with your brother, but I see it with Maya. Like, Maya's on her phone all the time. Like, all the time. Like, I mean, I guess we all are, but
My thing with
like, and I know people our age who post on Instagram stories every day. They don't miss a beat. Every time you go on Instagram, you know they're gonna have something on their story. You know they're gonna tweet and have millions of tweets a day. Like,
I love playing devil's advocate because
I'm so sorry.
What are you even doing?
My foot got stuck.
What are you doing?
But yeah, you say you love playing devil advocate.
Breaking my equipment. Make sure my levels is right now, because then tore up my equipment. I can't even hear myself anymore. But I like playing devil's advocate because people like our parents are definitely the type to be judgmental over the phones and stuff like that. But to me, it's like the only thing that phones give you, in my opinion, is just the ability to consume it pretty much anywhere. But like, if you look at the TV addiction of like the generation before us, or even our parents and stuff like that, like there's always something. It's just
But
the phone
this
is now.
Is a lot more accessible. Like, you can't. They couldn't bring their TVs in the car.
What did I just
Like,
say?
accidents that probably happen because people on their phones. Like, it's getting intense. People feeling the need to Snapchat while they're driving. Like that boy who just died, that TikToker, Snapchatting him driving 85 miles per hour. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't do that. Like, I've done that plenty of times, recorded my speed, and just recorded me in the car like dancing and stuff. But like, that stuff is dangerous, and it's like, I feel like it's only gonna get worse. Where the more and more kids feel like they need to prove something or get clout, you know. But yeah, And also something I noticed too is how everybody was like, "Oh, I guess the OnlyFans girls and the Instagram models are freaking out because they're at their job. Like, why is everybody like that?" I feel like that was like it's like so unnecessary. Like people will always wait every time something like this happens to come at them.
Yeah, that one was weird. I didn't really like. I didn't
People are
understand.
so weird about that. Like, okay, it's gonna come back up. Like they act like a lot of these people don't have other options to back up, and it's like they do. I feel like every influencer knows there might be a day where everything crashes. No, I said they know that. It's up to them to prepare. I feel like they all know, but a lot of them don't make the steps to prepare for something like that.
But
A
also,
lot of them have though. They have other income.
but also, people got to realize nothing's happening to Twitter or Facebook or any of these
Yeah,
companies.
ever.
They generate way too much money.
And you're always going to have influencers because advertising has been relevant forever.
Yeah, it's just now it's just a different medium. Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like there's so many things that people complain about, but it's like when you look at the previous things, like it's all the same. Like
It's the same thing. They're
Before
like our
you said-
generation is so different.
yeah, like
No.
no, the difference is that you see somebody posting a picture of them with a drink on Instagram, but for the generations before us, it was somebody on TV holding a drink
Yeah.
on TV, and that's just the only
Same
difference.
thing. And it added a lot more jobs. That's why I'm like, why do people always hating on people that do that? Like, let them make their money. That's a job. Like, even us regular people, you know how many times somebody asked me where I got something from and then they brought it? Like, I probably made companies a good amount of money just for simply that. So imagine the power of one person that's literally they probably could calculate thousands of people who clicked that link and brought that jacket. Like, these people are making these brands a lot of money. So I don't understand why we can't just respect that as a legitimate career. Like,
It's probably the way that people get popular because
well, they
there's
were more so coming at the girls too, about like the OnlyFans girls, and like that's more so the judgment. You know, it was men, probably the incels, coming at the girls like, "Oh, I guess you can't sell your body on Instagram today." Like, okay,
yeah, guys like that are weird. Well, girls like that too, but people like that are weird. I don't know, because if anybody does anything outside of minding their business, to me, it's weird. Like I never go outside during my day. Like in my day, I'm never going outside and wondering what the OnlyFans girls are doing. Like that
Yeah.
never comes across my mind. So when people are sitting there and they're not an OnlyFans girl and they're thinking about them in a negative
like, well, I
way,
say your first thought too.
like that's crazy.
Instagram's
like,
down. Your first thought is, "Oh, the OnlyFans girls are suffering."
Honestly, I didn't even know Instagram was down.
I didn't for hours.
Because this was
I think it was Monday or Tuesday. It was early in the week. You weren't here.
It was Monday, I think, because I was trying to update the last podcast
I
information.
think it was Monday. Yeah.
And then I was going to promote it on our Instagram page, which make sure you guys go follow that.
But yeah, have you been updating that?
Yeah,
Okay, good. 'Cause
always updated. But that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I noticed. I saw my service was down. Like it was like, oh, can't load, whatever. And then I just thought like, okay, Verizon probably bugging out because I'm in the city or something like that, not getting reception. Until somebody next to me was like, "Is your Instagram not working?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, so I guess it's just down."
I would have found out through my mom because I was on the phone with my mom and she was like, "Oh, Facebook's not working. I'm about to reset my phone. I'll call you back." I'm like, "Nope. Don't reset your phone. it's down." Like I just found out on Twitter. It's not your
That's
phone.
crazy.
Yeah, she was about to hang up on me. That's fake.
That's wild.
I was kidding. Yeah, that's what I really do think is an addiction, and I like I'm worried more so that some people are really are addicted to it. Like I'm worried that it's gonna be detrimental to people because I already think I can see detriments in my own life, like all the time I spent on it where I could be studying, where I could be doing something to further my life and to do more, and like I feel like we're in October 2021 flew, and like I just feel like it gave me a perspective like wow, like this addiction is like it's not good, like it's undiagnosed, but I really think like a lot of people are probably way worse than me. Like my screen time's high and I'm usually just watching TikToks and stuff, but that's still bad. That's still me using my time to watch somebody else's life. Like it's like I need to get together, and I think a lot of us are like that, and so many people are like gonna get depressed for it. Like I think it could turn into depression because addiction usually does sometimes turn into that. And it's even worse when your addiction is based off something of other people throwing their lives in your face and other people living like their best lives and making good money, and you're just like
The funny part about that is those people
are depressed too.
well,
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that those people probably because there's people that got popular for doing stuff like reality TV, whatever. You can make that argument all day, but for the most part, the people that have those lives, I really don't know actually if I want to finish this comment, but
Right.
I would, to a certain degree, those people work harder than, yeah, those people still
Sorry.
work hard. Like even the people that just fashion over pictures and stuff like that. There's
I was
way,
watching Academics thing the other day. He did something. He was with some OnlyFans girls, and the girls were saying that they're like their scenes is the least amount of work. They're like, of course, that's like the easy part. Like she said, the girls like, I wish that's all it was, because that's lots of guys arguing like, oh, all you guys do is like do this on camera. She's like, I wish it was all that. She's like, you gotta set up photo shoots at the year. You gotta market your brands. You gotta have meetings. Because she has like a whole brand. It's not like she's done just like one of the regular ones. Like she actually has like, I went to see her page. I was like, oh, okay. She has like millions of followers. So she's actually like a prominent person on there. And she's like, you have to promote it. Like people are not gonna watch this stuff if you're not advertising. And she's like, it gets like overwhelming. And a lot of these influencers and entrepreneurs, I guess you could say, work a lot more than we do.
yeah,
Not work, maybe not necessarily work harder, but have more to do.
yeah, it's
They have more. Their work schedules. It's crazy. We have our 8 hours and we're done
because I know how it sounds. It's like
every day. Yeah.
oh, you took a picture and posted it and you got like 60K, and it's like that doesn't sound like the hardest thing in the world to do, but to be able to command that 60K, that's the hard part, and that's
And keep them.
yeah. And
You have to
keep that
engage
value.
with them. You have to do stuff to keep them interested because people are so quick. They'll find one celebrity and jump. Like that girl from Hunger Games. What was it called?
Squid Game.
That girl everybody's obsessing over. Her followers went up like crazy lately, and she's probably gonna now have that pressure. It's like, okay, once the Squid Game hype goes down, you're gonna have to keep up this new audience you just kept. Like if she cares, she might not even care like that. But it's like you gotta try to engage with people, post consistent pictures because people are gonna forget. It's gonna be like, oh, they just followed her because she's cute, and then move on to the next thing, And so it's like that's a lot of work to maintain an audience and keep people interested in you and your life.
Yeah. Social media is an interesting thing. I'll definitely be interested in maybe a couple decades from now, God willing, if I'm here, seeing how it all plays out in terms of that. Like we've talked about, like even myself, like I put limits on what I do on my phone, not necessarily because I'm addicted. It's mostly so I can keep track of it. It's almost like sometimes when I'm driving somewhere and I know how to get there, I'll still put the GPS on there just to calculate the time.
Yeah.
I kind of do that with my phone, so I'm like, okay, I at least know how much, because it's real easy to get up in the morning, scroll for 2 hours, go do something else, come back, scroll for 2 hours, and go do something else and scroll for another 2 hours, and now it's like you got like 8 hours you've been on scrolling through social media. So that's why I like to put limits, so I at least know my limits are 20 minutes. So at some point in the day, I know. I hit that every time. Like there's never been a time since I put that on there that I never hit it.
Yeah.
But
do you have a goal to not hit it Monday?
No, I mean, I think
that's the point. Yeah, 20 minutes.
20 minutes is okay, because it's like you have to measure in your life. You do have to measure what's important. Like if you work 8 hours a day, some people, and I say unfortunately because it would be best if nobody had to work longer than that. But
some people work longer than that.
Yeah, some people work double jobs.
They do like a double. What do they call it? They do like a double shift.
It's called a double.
A double, yeah, and that's 16 hours.
It depends.
Or whatever your shift is, yeah. Because you could have a 4-hour shift, and you're like, oh, I'm doing 8 today.
Or some people work 2 8-hour shifts to come home and go immediately to bed, get up and do it again. But you do have to prioritize and pay attention to things. Like you work 8 hours a day, and there's so many people that get tired. And
then you have to sleep 8 hours. You're supposed to. So now you're left with what? That's 16 hours, and it's 24 hours in a day. Where does that leave you?
8.
That's only 8 other hours.
To do anything else.
That's sad.
And if you're spending that other 8 just on social media, because I've seen people with hours.
You see mine.
Yeah, with hours that are past. I'm like, how were you on social media for 32 hours today? It's only 24 hours in a day. But like you see that, and it's like you just gotta pay attention to what's important. Like we work 8 hours a day. Some people get tired and they don't want to do anything else. They don't want to work out, but it's like you just worked 8 hours, spending an extra 20, 30 or an hour to work out. Like that's important. Like
you need to prioritize your health.
Yeah, and as long as you got those 2 things, you're working, you're able to provide for yourself, and you're working out, you're trying to be healthy, eating right. Those are really the 2 biggest things. And like, if social media outweighs the time you spend from any of those 2 things, then it's like, all right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from it being down,
I think it just definitely exposed a lot of people. I hope that
It's sad.
I hope that it was an eye opener for people though, because the way people were literally like, I just checked Instagram again, it's still down. Like, whoa, like maybe we need a break. Maybe you need this break today. Go talk to your family. Go do a hobby. Go do something you really want to do. Go work on that career that you really want. Go work on that business that, like, you know, like do that stuff instead of like being so pressed to go see what other people are doing. Yeah. Why do we really care about social media? Social media is really only caring about other people, really, in their lives.
We're not complaining podcast.
Okay,
again.
yeah. No, but we're not really complaining. This is more so like I'm like giving like you know, insight into what it really is. Like what really is social media. It's like
I actually don't understand the appeal of
like being so like caring about what other people are doing.
I understand with Twitter because
that's what I'm saying. Twitter is different. That's why I love Twitter, because Twitter is like funny tweets. It's sometimes good arguments. It's good advice. Like it's not really people's lives. Like you're not going to Twitter to see, oh, what's so and so doing. Like no, you're going to Twitter just to see what's funny. What the time I'm talking about today. You know, like what jokes we doing today. Instagram is strictly people's lives.
I really
stories,
don't see the appeal.
It's pictures. That's why I don't like Instagram anymore. Like it's like boring because you could tell people are putting on a front.
The government about to get Facebook out of here anyway. But
yeah, Facebook.
I never understood it because Twitter to me is like basically the perfect app. I think
it is. That's my favorite app. I want my old account back.
I would say Reddit and Twitter are tied together. I think the only difference is just the purpose. Like Reddit is amazing to find a specific topic and get all the information about a specific topic, but Twitter's updates now let you kind of do something similar. But you could post pictures on Twitter. Like that's why I never. And it's basically unlimited.
You can, but the only thing I do like about Instagram though is like it does make like an artwork of your life. Like it's like a whole display. And I like it for the aspect. I just think people shouldn't be so pressed to be on that app. I don't get why it has so much high engagement, because that's like a more showy in your face type of this is my life and this isn't my pics. But I still like the concept of it, that you could see a whole display of your page, like your pictures.
So if Twitter did that, if you went to somebody's media and did that, do you think it would be as popular?
Because if you went to media, yeah. Because if my media looked like Instagram, I wouldn't use Instagram. But the media, you had to scroll, and there's memes, GIFs, like it's a lot. But if they had a way you could see the media and you could separate it between pictures, videos.
But that's actually what Reddit does. If you go to your feed
Reddit,
in Reddit,
it's like complicated though.
No,
Reddit has a lot of moving parts. I like Reddit, but sometimes I get confused. I'm on there because it's like
maybe you should just use it more because it's like really clutch. You can go to the top like right of Reddit and you can
see the media.
You can flip just the media, and then you can also flip how the media displays, like whether you want it scrolled, if you want it in like an Instagram-esque type feed where it's like a bunch of pictures on a page.
I like Reddit, because Reddit is more so like the cool thing about Reddit is like you have specific things you could go talk about with people about. Like I like that. It's like people said that they feel like Twitter should do something like that. I'm like, nah.
Which is kind of the topics thing. Didn't they say they were doing that?
I think
they were making Twitter groups or something, kind of like Facebook.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's what topics is, but like, yeah.
But yeah, Facebook is getting out of here. We'll quickly just talk about that.
Which is a shame, because like Mark Zuckerberg really created like something legendary with that, and it's like I like it for what it is. Like I do like it for what it is. I think it's the best app for older people to connect, because it's like I don't know, like it could have been the perfect app if Twitter didn't get out here. I feel like Facebook is a perfect app for as far as connecting with old people, like older people that like, or people in your life, because it's like everything. You go to your page. You can see what they write. You can see their pictures all sorted in different albums. You know, I think that's cool. Because like if you find your old friend from like high school, right? Let's say you're like 50, and you're like, oh, I wonder what so and so's up to, and you go find them on Facebook, and then you can see everything. It's like, oh, you can see albums. You see their album might be like, oh, my daughter's birthday. You're like, okay, cool. I can see my daughter's birthday. Like I think it's cool because everything is so organized. Like, so it would be a shame to see it go. I don't know if it'll ever fully go. You think? You think the app is going to be, like, the whole website is going to be done?
I think that they may do something drastic because...
but they own Instagram and...
WhatsApp. But what the government legally is able to do is they can split it up if they want to. Or...
like separate entities?
Yeah, or they can impose certain things. Because that's the thing about law, is that it's ever changing based on what's going on in the world. Because if we still went by the same laws as, like, medieval times... people would be still getting their heads cut off. People would be getting set on fire and all that other stuff. So law is supposed to evolve. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there's anything necessarily right now written in any law about social media. Mm-hmm. But given the stuff that happens, they can definitely do it. So I just wanted to read quickly about Francis Hogan, or Hogan, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, who was a former data scientist at Facebook. She's the whistleblower that has accused Facebook of some interesting things. And she
Is that the person with the Hellcat?
that was a tremendous car. Hopefully you guys could hear that because I could hear it. So
I don't like this. I should have shook it.
she was high ranking in Facebook, so her saying something is definitely kind of damning in a way to Facebook. So they said one of the things that leaked, and this was Facebook studying this, by the way. So that's what makes it bad. It says that 13.5% of teen girls in the UK said that their suicidal thoughts became more frequent after starting on Instagram, and another 17% found that they developed eating disorders after using Instagram. And then they said about 32% of teen girls said that when they felt bad about their bodies, Instagram made them feel worse. And it says that Marsha Blackburn, who is a senator of Tennessee, accused Facebook of intentionally targeting children under age 13 with an addictive product, despite the app requiring users to be 13 years or older, which is actually kind of wild.
But wouldn't it be the parents' fault?
I
mean, I guess there's no way to prove your age. Maybe apps are gonna start doing that, right? Like you had to show ID. But how do you show that you're 13 years or older? I don't know that. I don't know the way to do that.
That 13 years or older thing is, I don't know if that's a Apple imposed thing or if that's like an actual Facebook imposed thing. Because Apple might, that's
like a brand, like in the App Store.
Yeah, like they might put that themselves.
But even then, you still can't tell your age. I mean, unless you put it in your phone. But even then, you still probably could like change it or something.
Yeah, but still, like that, like that's what they're saying. It's like them specifically saying you have to be 13 years or older, but then developing products specifically to target people that are 13 years or younger.
Yeah, like
it's contradictory.
The kid stuff. Yeah,
it's very contradictory. But there's a bunch of stuff in here. I don't want to bore everyone, but I would encourage everybody to go read it because again, she was a data scientist at Facebook, so that means that she had access to everything basically in terms of any data that they want, they can pull. Like how many of our people, honestly, they could probably pull how many of our users are depressed, how many people are gun owners. They could pull all of this information. So that's why her statements are very important. She says that they broke the law. She just says a bunch of things. Pretty much that they understand the impact that their algorithms and things have on the general population, specifically children. And I think the part that she's most frustrated with is that they specifically did these studies themselves and understand what's going on and but don't care. But then they specifically lean into it. It's like, okay, these teen girls are insecure about the way they and I know it might be difficult for people that have never worked in like a company where you're actually able to see, manipulate, play with big data. But you can literally identify these things like at any time, like at any point. Like when they say that people are trying to like protect their data, like that stuff is really important because they can identify everything about you. They could almost replicate you if they wanted to based off of how much we use our phones. So it's just the fact that they were able to identify like these young teen girls are they're concerned about their weight, their height, how big their butt is, like any of these kind of things that people get tied up with. Facebook was literally identifying that and then leaning into it and making their algorithm sell them worse. Products by like, buy the flat tummy tees. Yeah. It's like, okay, we see that you're searching over here. You follow this girl and she does a lot of like leg workouts. So it's like, oh, you must be insecure about this. So here's this and this. And that's why so many people feel like worse after using these things. And that's the why it's being reviewed right now by the government because it's like you knew that and you're leaning into it still, and it's like it's not that it's illegal, but it's like
it's kind of wild.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. So that's why what Facebook is able to do is currently being reviewed, and we'll see what comes from it.
They might be in their like decline era.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting. Kind of sad though. I need to go back on my Facebook's in like my Facebook media now and put it on a hard drive.
Yeah, they're not gonna delete Facebook. They're just gonna.
It's gonna be like different oversight probably and like regulations. That's how they always do stuff, you know. They always have regulators go fix things.
The unfortunate part is just sad that we aren't able to regulate ourselves. Because they were like, Facebook put profits over like how other people feel, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what corporations do. If any company, if there's anything such thing as profit involved, it's because somebody got slighted.
Mm-hmm.
So like banks make all this money because they slighted somebody in some way.
Yeah.
If everybody did everything evenly and everybody was all copacetic, nobody would have anything.
Yeah.
So that's not the issue, but it is nasty behavior. It's not like this isn't even shocking to me, but
yeah, it's not. It's kind of like
obviously,
yeah.
Of course, they use your data to make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't say, but yeah.
Yeah, I really do think though that going back to the addiction part, I really do think something's gonna happen eventually. Like where it's gonna be. I think most people will get out of it themselves, but it's gonna take a lot for some people to get out of it. But I think that since it's not that serious, in my opinion, but I feel like it could be that serious. I feel like for the most part, people are gonna get out of it themselves because you're gonna get to a point where you recognize it and then realize like how important life really is to actually live in the real world.
I think it wouldn't be as bad because it's been like this forever where people look up to celebrities and they want to go get surgeries to look like them or whatever. Obviously, it's multiplied because...
And that goes back to our last podcast. We talked about the BBL epidemic.
Yeah. Obviously, it's multiplied when you have a device that's easily accessible or whatever. Yeah. But when Twitter and all these places first started, there was never such thing as a Twitter famous person, an Instagram famous person.
And now you're coming up with new like job titles, basically.
Yeah, it used to just be famous people, which is normal. Like the person had to put the work in to become popular before you want to follow them. But now it's just so many people. It's like you got popular YouTube people, popular Instagram people, popular Twitter
TikTokers.
people, and now it's just a trillion.
TikTokers is a whole new thing too.
There's just a trillion people to look up to, and they're all getting money. So it's just like now it's just amplified. Nobody feels good about anything, and then now I feel like everything anybody does on social media is for the point of trying to become those people.
Mm-hmm. So it's like posts are like the intent might not always be there. Yeah. Like people are posting something to try to get followers, to try to get attention, try to go viral. Like everything's to go viral. Like
people saying outlandish things just to go viral. But it's just like
so that's when it comes like kind of sick. But it's like, what is your real intentions? Like
it was one thing when you looked up to like, oh, I like J-Lo's music.
Yeah.
I know that's a wild example, but it's like...
It was different when we had like our idols, not even idols, but people that we like looked up to for like an influence as far as like clothes, fashion, hair, makeup, but it's just a set of people. It was singers, actors. Now it's like you said, there's influence coming from all different directions and people are seeing what works between people. So like... And also to cut you off,
scary. Most of those people don't have what I would necessarily call talent. I think that they can market themselves really well, what their scheme or niche is.
Yeah.
But a lot of those people aren't necessarily talented. They don't have what you used to need to have. Like now you don't need to actually even be able to sing. But people can't sing, they can't play sports, they can't
dance.
They can't do anything like
they actually had a thing where they showed TikTokers like in person. They said like it's so cringe in person. Like it looks cute on the phone, but in person them trying to dance. Like you see when they went to like the what's that game? The All-Star game. It just looks stupid.
Yeah.
It's like this is our talent now.
Yeah. So
these are our celebrities.
You have a bunch of untalented people who are just really good at marketing themselves or just caught a lick and now they're there and now people want to look up to that as opposed to... It's one thing if you want to look up to somebody that's talented at something, but looking up to somebody that's talented at nothing and they just have followers is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's all I got because I sound like an old man again.
All right. So yeah. Honestly, to close up that topic, I think one day it's going to be addressed. It's going to be like it's going to be one of those articles. I mean, I know there's stuff already out now, but I'm sure, I feel like one day it's going to be a huge topic. But as of now, I don't see an end in sight. It's just, I feel like the addiction is only going to get worse. So I feel like it's up to you to try to get out of it. It's not as, I don't know if it's as serious as like drugs, but but it could be because the whatever, like drugs is all about the thing that's sent to your brain.
Yeah, they already.
And people get euphoria from social media.
We have enough of a
And
sample
the
size
happiness.
to be able to tell. Like you don't need like 50 years or something to be able to tell. That's already been determined as a study that it gives the same feeling.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Yeah.
All right, so sorry, I'm trying to multitask. The next topic we could talk about. Wait, let me see if I have anything. Yeah, okay. So next topic we could talk about that kid. His name was Timothy Simpkins. That was the one who was bullied. He was bullied badly. Remember I was telling you, and then he shot up the school. Well, he didn't shoot up the school. But he shot the people that were messing with him. I think a teacher might have got hit too, but nobody died. I'm not sure. I haven't checked to see any updates, but I don't think anybody died. I think one kid was critically injured, and it's probably the kid that was messing with him. He probably was close range. But I just want to talk about that because I feel like it started a conversation online where people were saying like it was self-defense. It's in Texas. He might get off because it was technically self-defense. I mean, he hurt other people, so maybe not necessarily. But I just feel like, what is your opinion? Like, obviously, I don't think shootings ever justified. I'm not justifying the shooting, but I'm saying, like, do you think that, like, people are get so mentally messed up? Because he was, like, they said, you know, he was cool. He had his grades, but he was bullied every single day. They said he literally, like, got in fights every day, and, like, he wasn't fighting back. Like, if you see the videos, like, they were just hitting him. And he got stripped of his clothes. I heard he got robbed. Like, oh, that's kind of wild. So I just wanted to know your opinion. Like, obviously, the shooting is not justified at all. But do you think a lot of times, like with people who do these shooting stuff, like that there's really a problem with bullying that needs to be addressed? Because apparently the school didn't really do much. Like the mom came to them most of the times. Or do you think it's the mom's at fault? Do you think the mom should have pulled the kid out of school and went to a different school? Because I hate how people say that. People are like, just pull the kid out of school. I'm like, if it's so easy, like you're not a parent. I'm not a parent either. But they're like, it's not that simple. Like you can't just pull someone out of school. That's the public school of the city you live in. What are you gonna do? Send them to private school? You can't send them out of district unless you move. Like people swear they know.
That was people. That's what people went to.
Yeah,
to
they were like,
pull the kid out of school as opposed to
like
addressing
the
the
mom
actual
should have
issue.
addressed it. The mom should have pulled them out of school. Like, no, kids shouldn't bully. Like, why are you trying to defend the bully? Kids shouldn't bully other students. Like,
yeah, and that's really it. I never bullied anybody else because I had some actual real parents, people that actually parent. Just because you birth somebody doesn't even really make you a parent. Like you just kind of you gave birth to the kid, but you're not really a parent if you're not giving them the kid everything that they need morally and all that kind of stuff. Like, and I'm not a parent, but
yeah, but it's like that's just kind of like some stuff is kind of like obvious.
You could tell how people were raised, and you know, I never did that.
Yeah,
people I know that were raised right, they never did that.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the issue. Like parenting
that
is
stuff
the issue. Parenting is the issue. I see there's so many examples.
You wouldn't be bullying another person if your parents were good people.
Yeah, I see so many kids. Like I could walk down the street and see people. Like we've seen people out in public where it's like they're not a good parent. Like you could just tell they're not a good parent. You feel bad for the kid.
The way they're yelling at them and like cursing at them, it's just cringe.
And that's the issue. So
like remember the time we was in DC, I don't know if you remember. I was walking.
Yeah, and the lady was yelling at the baby.
I was like sad because I'm like,
baby can't even talk.
That kid is literally gonna grow up to be a mess. Like that's toxic. It was very hectic. Like why was she even outside that late? Just sad.
Yeah, so that's the biggest issue. That's the only issue, because if he wasn't getting bullied, he wouldn't have shut up the school. Yeah. So that's really the main issue. Obviously, the shooting isn't justified, but yeah, it's just really gotta, you know, at the same time though, because we had this discussion before. Even if you are a good parent, there is always the possibility that your kid is just gonna wild out.
Yeah, and just be like,
unfortunately.
Yeah. And then even if you like tell them, like even if you do all the right things and like try to calm them down the right way, that's just personality and genetic makeup. And
if that's the case, then you know there's nothing you can do about it. But I can promise you that's not the case in this scenario.
Yeah.
Like there's no way on God's green earth that they had good parents and they were going to beat up somebody every day that wasn't fighting back. Like that's something.
That's evil. Like
that's crazy.
For someone not even to defend themselves and you just feel cool, just like that's just evil. And I feel like if he's not even defend himself, what did he even do to you anyway? For you to beat him up? Are you just messing with him because he's smart? Are you just messing with him because he apparently I think they had like money or whatever, so he was wearing nice stuff? Like I think they must have just picked on him out of nowhere. I'm not sure what the background story is, but I think they actually just moved there or something too. So, people like this mess with a new kid.
Yeah, I'm not gonna justify the shooting, but I would say this.
Yeah, but definitely we have things that we need to address in this world.
Don't hit people when you won't get hit.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really what it is.
And it's like I say, I feel like it's still in a way self-defense. I don't know. I still feel like if he felt like his life was at risk, I'm sure they're gonna argue that. I feel like in court they're gonna argue he felt like his life was threatened. Cause he actually did. They said he came home to his mom saying that he really he's scared because they beat him up every day, and he feels that they're gonna beat him up so bad that he dies. I think that he said that.
Yeah, you're gonna get off then just by that statement.
Yeah.
Because it is true. You got somebody that's coming. Who knows how far they're gonna go? They're gonna keep.
And they just keep beating you every day. All it takes is one hit and your head the wrong way.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. This whole bullying thing. I never understood it. Yeah. Never understood it. But it's definitely people just. Oh my God! I really wish I did not have a corporate job because this podcast would go to another level because I just wouldn't care what I say. But a lot of people just have sex and pop out babies, and that's all they do, and that's all their value as a parent is just that they had the ability to give birth, and they don't do anything beneficial for the kid, and that's what births all these people that go and shoot up schools and are a detriment to society. And it's people aren't even actually parents; they just give birth to the kid, and that's such a problem. And because you see so many of those kids when we were in school, and it's well, maybe I don't know about you, but at least for me, because I went to a more diverse school. I saw all people from all walks of life and their behavior. You could tell the people that really don't have parents that care. They just gave birth to the kid and they just, they'll feed them, whatever.
I think where I was from, where I went to school, it wasn't that many people anyway. But for the most part, it was half and half. You could tell the kids that, I hate to say this, but the kids that grew up in what they tried to call the rich kids, Low Pat and Stewartsville, where I'm from. People thought I feel like everybody from those areas seemed like they were well-rounded, they didn't do outlandish stuff. But then you had other kids who literally were coming in school lacing the cookies with weed. Why are you doing that? Or kids that just act crazy, this cursing at the teachers. Nobody from the rich towns were doing that. And just because you come from money or come from a well-rounded thing doesn't necessarily mean you're still okay. Because a lot of times those people be the worst. But you could kind of just tell the kids that kind of grew up in more rough environments, because when money's the issue, that does add an extra layer of issues that happens in the household. A lot of the kids from Peaburg and mostly Peaburg were just very crazy. And even Alex, she tells me she deals with, she does guidance counseling. She deals with crazy stuff at school. And I feel like I never really went to school in a really populated area, so I can't even really tell my experiences. But just from stuff that she hears, she's Jesus, and she has her kid of her own. You gotta raise these kids at school and try to help them out. You got a baby at home to worry about. That's a lot. So it's sad, but people are that's why people shouldn't have kids. That's why they need to stop these abortion laws. Let people abort the kid if they want to abort it, because that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. But if you're not good, no, the people who say people who are for the abortion laws, I want them to stand outside the clinic or whatever, stand outside the hospital, and the baby's born, take it.
Get there early.
If you care about this human life, then take it. You raise the kid then, because that's their argument. You raise the kid then, because other than that, they're gonna get raised in this really toxic environment and they're gonna go kill people. Yeah. Now what? That baby could have been aborted now as a serial killer.
It's crazy, Yeah, it's sad,
Yeah.
It's sad that he felt like he had to. But my thing though, I go back and forth with my stance on this, because if somebody punches you in the face, you should punch them back. Mm-hmm. But it's at what point does it go further than that? You know what I mean? Because it's sometimes it's if somebody does something crazy, it's you want to do something even crazier than what they even did initially. Mm-hmm. It's it's tough, because it's what could have been the next escalation?
Yeah, because you don't know what could have been next. Because what if the kid who was fighting and brought a knife?
Yeah.
And just stabbed him in the fight?
Was he getting jumped, or was it just?
I'm not sure. Like I heard like it was multiple people at one point that did beat him up and they like stripped him. She said and like robbed him. But in the video I saw, it was just one person. Throwing punches.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw that one video too. Yeah, I'm not gonna really say my real opinion on the jumping part on camera, but if somebody hits you, you gotta hit them back. And if you're not gonna hit them back, then I think it should be if it's a one-on-one fight, somebody and you get beat up and you lose, you should not then go ahead and go get a gun and try to shoot the person. Like learn how to fight.
Yeah.
Throw a punch, defend yourself. Obviously, the whole thing is bullying shouldn't happen, but because bullying did happen, learn how to fight, learn how to defend yourself.
And that's what some people were saying in the comments that like he instead of shooting, like learn how to throw hands back, but he might have really just felt scared because like you could say that, but think about me, I'm not a fighter, and if someone was fighting me and I felt like I was like my life was at risk, I'm not necessarily bringing a gun to school, but I'm gonna do anything to try to avoid going to school anyway. But not as a fighter, like you could say that, but that still might not help, And it does take kind of a minute to get some good skills on how to like really fight and defend yourself,
Gotta do what you gotta do. It's unfortunate.
Survival of the fittest.
It's unfortunate.
That's just the animal kingdom.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
And
but you could say the same for the helpless animals that get killed in society. That's just
he did what he felt like he had to do.
I'm glad no one died. So I think this like hopefully the person in critical condition is like survives. But I'm glad nobody died because like I really want to see his life get thrown away because of bullying. But he's still not gonna probably face time if he loses attempted murder.
Yeah, hopefully everybody leaves the hospital. Hopefully everybody's okay because obviously we don't want to wish death on anybody. But when things happen, the only thing I can hope is that people take it as a lesson. Like, I don't think people, because they say bullies bully people, which is true, but that might not always be the case. Maybe they're just crazy.
Sometimes they might just want to mess people. Like, you just never know.
People get off on that.
Yeah, and they just saw him as an easy target. He's new. They said he was kind of like.
I just hope anybody that does that to anybody else just takes it as a lesson because you don't know when you're. It's one of those things like everything is funny to the person telling the joke, and you never know how that is impacting the person on the receiving end. And this is one of those things. So when people mess with people, hopefully those bullies that are out there, hopefully they take it as a lesson because. You don't know what that's doing to that kid.
Why would you want to be that person? Like I get when we're younger, we don't really think that far in ahead. But why would you want to be that person? Like we learn about bullies and stuff all the time in life. Why would you want to be that person to somebody? Like why would you want that to be your imprint in somebody's life?
Makes you feel bigger. I would imagine. Because
he was 15.
You feel like you have some sort of power over that other person because you could punch them and they're not gonna punch you back, which is whack anyway. Like.
Wait, he got shot 4 times.
The main person?
The one who's in the hospital.
Oh, only one was hospitalized. Yeah,
the rest of them is kind of, I think it's got like grazed and stuff. He was 15 and the one who shot him was 18. So a 15-year-old was bullying him. That's crazy. That's actually wild. And he's a senior. That's like crazy. Like just get out to school and go be rich.
If you don't go fight him.
They said that the family is shocked at the fight footage. They probably like, oh, I didn't know he was such a bad kid.
Yeah, family's always shocked, right?
We were shocked to see the video because we never seen him that way before. That's always an excuse. You definitely have. Or you probably made him that way. Never seen him fight even his sister or his older brother. He's mild-mannered, soft-spoken child. Why is that everybody's story? My child was so nice and sweet.
I have the perfect child.
Clearly not. His grandson. Oh, this is the grandma. The grandson's condition improved since he was admitted. So, okay, that's good.
Did he not get suspended for that or nothing? Like, I'm confused.
Apparently, the school hasn't did anything. Like, apparently, the mom has so many times said something. And they even said that sometimes some of the fights, the teachers were scared during the fight. How you a teacher, you scared during the fight? If you don't stop the fight.
Y'all grown.
Don't be a teacher then. That comes with being a teacher. You might have to step in some fights.
All right, whatever.
Everybody's so nice to me. Okay, we've been getting so much love and support. The visiting room was full of people. One of the victims, the teacher. Oh, she was, okay. I think she was grazed. He faces 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So not attempted murder. It hit him in his arm, leg, chest, and stomach, and struck a teacher who attempted to break up the fight. A bullet grazed another student. Okay, so it's only 3. Don't know what the kid's life was like, but growing up in the 70s, we just about every kid got bullied, including me. We just accepted it as life. We shouldn't accept it as life. That's why, like, the older generation always wants to say stuff like that, like, "Oh, we accepted it." Well, that's why your generation is a mess.
Yeah, the old generation thing. I was like, "Oh, this is how it worked." I'm like, "Well, let's look at what it birthed."
Yeah, they're like, "Look, why are kids less resilient these days?" Oh my god. I'm sure the silent generation had it even tougher than my generation. Like, why? I hate that their older generation always wants to say stuff like that. Like, ugh. Like, that stuff could really mess up people. I don't care if you guys went through it and our generation went through it. Doesn't make it right. Slavery was a thing. Does that make it right? There were slaves back then. Why don't we have slaves now? Like,
let's get on to something else.
Yeah, this is like annoying, but
I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah, it's 11. We got work tomorrow. All right, so we have that's for like 3 more things, but this is something random I thought about. But what do you think is more serious, kids or marriage? I feel like
Let's go on to the next
but
topic.
I feel like our generation, like, it's making it seem like marriage is more
the craziest
serious.
thing ever, right?
Like, why is Dirk talking about? He said something about like, my only wish is for a son and for her to be my wife. What do you mean? Everybody was eating up. You're in control. How's that your wish? Then go get the ring. Like, everybody's like, oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet that he said that's his wish. Go make it happen. He act like it can't happen. Having a son, that's in the hands of genetics. And if you have it, I can see you wish you have a son. Wishing on marriage, wishing for India to be your wife, you go get the ring. You're rich. So I don't get it. I was watching this video the other day about how, like, the Kardashians are pretty much baby mamas and, like, nobody really bashes them because they're white. Like, think about how black women have the stereotype, even though it's not even a stereotype. The stats prove we are majority. A lot of single moms, baby mamas, no marriage. But it's just funny that nobody bashes the Kardashians about it. So it made me think about, like, wow, like, Kylie really about to have Travis' second son, and they've been together since 2017, and he's not marrying her. Like, you really about to, or not even son, we don't know the second kid. It's like, I don't get it. Like, why people act like marriage is so crazy. And what the girl said, she's like, oh, because Travis is a rapper, so it's not his brand to be married. I'm like, probably, or he just doesn't care. Who knows? Like, but I get with rich people it might be different because money's involved and there's a lot that comes with it legally. But then get a prenup. I don't know. I just feel like people make it seem like marriage is so crazy, but then they pop out kids, like actual human beings. Like, these are humans. These are humans at your birthday. It's not toys. They're not props. These are people who are going to grow up and have their mind on their own and have a life and run into issues, run into heartbreak, live a human experience. And you just pop them into this world because it's cute, but you don't want to get married. So I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like we could have a little blurb about that. About how people make it seem like it's more serious.
To your Kardashian point.
Glorified baby mamas. The only one who's married is Kim, and even her, they might get divorced, but even with her, North was out of wedlock.
The reason why, you know why they view the Kardashians as not being baby mamas. It's because the perception of black baby mothers, and it's not even necessarily that I can blame people for feeling this way when that's what we see, is that they're ghetto. So being a baby mama in the hood with no money is definitely far from being as appealing as being a white woman with hundreds of millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. That's really the main reason.
And it's like cute, whatever.
Because I'm sure there's plenty of examples of black single mothers.
Yeah.
That are rich and they don't get killed for it.
That's true. They don't. Cause
I can't think of any.
Ciara was single for a minute with Future's kid.
Yeah.
And now she has 2 other kids with another man.
But it's because her image isn't crazy.
Yeah,
she's not tatted up all over.
She's not cursing people out.
Not that there's anything wrong with tattoos, but we know how people's
but
perception.
But it's a perception, yeah.
The perception of tattoos.
But it's kind of crazy to really think like people really like eat it up with the Kardashians. Like, oh my god, Kylie's pregnant again. It's like,
yeah,
cute,
but we know what
where's her ring?
We know what that is. They're basically the embodiment of the influencer. So they're kind of like the blueprint. So it's kind of hard to like criticize the group of people that kind of birthed that whole thing. Like it's not like money, like gold. Not that they're gold diggers, but that
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. Like that whole era definitely existed.
Mm-hmm.
But like they kind of like embodied what everybody wants. They want the family and the kids and the fathers are all rich and everybody's rich and we all just make money and we go buy expensive things and we're all clean. The house is clean and we have our own show. And
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of the embodiment of what all of these women want.
That's true.
So and it's a quote unquote clean image. Like they're not tatted. I mean, their
Yeah,
surgeries are
the
whatever
surgeries are ugh. But they just look like,
put together. And that's
yeah,
what everybody wants.
and they have the resources to be a single mom. That makes sense. Like they have
Yeah.
nannies. The kids are okay. The kids are gonna be all right.
So it's not as crazy as your average single mother living, probably check to check, or you got the absentee father not helping out, or whatever the perceptions are of single women. You don't have that, so the Kardashians kind of are able to get that off.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
if they didn't have money, then I'm sure they would be viewed as the same way.
Yeah, that's true. Like if they were just like, kind of how like Rob is. They kind of like, I mean, Rob has money too, but he's like kind of like the black sheep of the family. And people really judge him for having kids with Black China. But that might be more so because Black China. People have their issue with her. But yeah. It is just crazy. It's a crazy observation. But I really don't understand what the like reluctancy to get married when you have like you don't have any other reason. Like like us regular people, we like, okay, we need to get our life together. We need to have our money. We need to save up. These people could buy millions of rings.
Yeah, but we know what it is.
I mean, in my opinion, I think like I said with Travis, it's not a part of the brand to be married. Like you're a rapper, you want to live the rapper lifestyle, but it's like
there's mad rappers that are married though.
that's true. Kanye,
It's literally just a lifestyle. You want to be able to go and
you want to be single basically, and not be like, oh, I'm tied to it. Like I'm not married, because marriage sounds crazy. Like I'm like you're a husband. Saying you're a boyfriend and you're cheating, that's not as bad, I guess. I mean, obviously cheating is bad. But I'm saying like in their mind, it's probably like, oh, it's not as bad as being like I'm cheating on my wife. Like you made that legal, God, like.
Maybe they feel like it's a lot of work.
Which is weird because like people say it is just a title, and it's like, yeah, it is. It also is paperwork. It also is a business. If you think about it, people marry for benefits. But I don't know. I just feel there's a lot of excuses. I feel like they make a lot of excuses, and like that's why Dirk's whole thing was weird. Like, oh, my wish is for a son and to be married. Like that's weird.
How old is he?
Isn't he like our age? I bet you he's like our age.
Yeah, he's 20. He got mad kids.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I always forget that it's not just a woman in India.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yikes. But it's like, come on, you made so many songs about India. Oh, I love her. India is my soulmate. And just married a girl. Why are you telling Instagram that's your wish? Go get the ring and propose. Like, okay. So, yeah, I don't get it, but I do, but I don't. Because it's like, you got 6 kids. That wasn't serious to you? The marriage is? Like, ugh. Weird.
Yeah.
6 kids, probably 6 different women, too. Like, that's weird. Like, I don't know how people could do that. Like, that's chaotic. I don't like chaos.
You love chaos.
No, that's chaotic. I just want cute kids with my one man, and that's that. Nothing wrong with that, though. That's the thing. Nothing's wrong with that. Because some situations happen. Like, we might not work out, and we get divorced, and you move on, and you marry someone else. That's different. These people are not marrying any of these girls. They don't, it's not like they love them. It's not like they have issues. They just bounced around, dumping their selves into other women. It's just like, ew. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess I answered the question. Marriage is more serious than kids, apparently, for our generation. But yeah, the only other thing I really had was about Dave Chappelle. We just watched a special.
No, hold on. Let's go to the last one.
The last one? Oh, the maintenance man. Maintenance people having access to apartments. I want to talk about that with the girl who got killed by the maintenance man. And it led to an argument kind of where people were saying like, it's normal for maintenance to have access, because I guess a lot of people live in apartments where it's like it's different. Like they live in apartments where like they might not have a system like how we do. We have a portal where like we contact maintenance. Like we don't have a maintenance man number. We just contact him directly on the website. And I guess some people don't have that, so they actually have the maintenance man's number. So they think in this case, the girl, that's why she had his number, because that just might be how the place worked. Everybody had his number. But yeah, I just feel like, do you think maintenance people should have access? Because I know a lot of the argument is you might be like, you know, when we was on vacation, what if there was a fire in here? They need to get it out, you know? So it's like, I get in those cases. But then I actually saw some landlord. He was a former landlord. He said his argument was he thinks maintenance shouldn't have access at all. He's like, if there's anything that serious, kick down the door. And I was like, that's true, right? If there's anything that's really that much an emergency, it probably doesn't take nothing to kick this door down, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, I wouldn't say that. We have some sturdy. We don't have like the
Oh
regular
yeah, we had
doors.
double locks too, triple locks technically.
Yeah, we got the big steel demon door.
But I'm sure they could have some tool that they can use to break the door down. They should, like, in
Honestly,
case of emergencies. Like, it shouldn't be, I need to get into the room. Like, no, break the door down.
not well. So here's the thing. So there's a. Here, I'm gonna try to break it down. Try not to cut me off because I'm gonna try to keep my thought. I'm gonna try to keep my thought. So initially, I was like, okay, it's normal for maintenance to have keys, obviously for an abundance of reasons. Now my mindset is more so like, yes, we have the portal, so we don't have the person's phone number. Whatever, having a phone number doesn't mean anything to me anyway.
I guess because
you got mad people's
some
numbers.
girl on Twitter said she was harassed by her maintenance man. That's why. And he was like, I'm coming in. I'm coming.
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I'm more so like without really. So yes, if there's anything that serious where it requires the maintenance person to enter your apartment, you probably should have the police or the fire department involved, because I can't imagine there would be anything else
Yeah,
outside
right. What's
of
the
a
maintenance man
flood,
gonna do?
or a fire.
Like, what emergency is that dire that the maintenance man? I mean, it's that light that the maintenance man could do it. Oh, you just need the maintenance man. If it's an emergency, I'm sure then you need emergency people to be there.
Yeah. So in that perspective, it's like they really don't need one.
And they don't live here. Maintenance people don't live here. So what's the difference between them coming up here versus the fire department?
The only thing though is, let me think. The only thing that I can think of, I'm more so on the lines of the person that owns the property should be, but even then, well, yeah, you should have the ability to get into your own thing that you own.
Yeah.
The owner should have a key. Maintenance shouldn't
Even
really.
then, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, he's still
It's like it's your property. You're
They
renting
could be-
it to
they could be
people.
crazy
They
too,
could be
though.
crazy, but I don't think that they would throw away property.
That's true. If
or
they
their
had that
lives.
money,
I don't think they would. But yeah, I don't think they should have the ability to get in. Now that I really think about it, because the only other thing is that when they show the unit, they need to have the maintenance person. Oh wait, here, I have my thought. So our maintenance people have the ability, or we have, for convenience purposes, the ability to ask if there's a problem or something needs to get fixed, that we can request for them to enter while we're not here.
Yeah, and we had to get them permission.
Yeah. So that's the only thing, is just in case we want something fixed and we're just not available to, because that happens. It's just
like
for convenience
if there
purposes.
was no work from home, and all the times that we had issues, we might have been at work.
Yeah, like, and you might not be able to wait till the weekend to get your heater fixed or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So in that case, I understand it, but even still, take the day off.
Yeah, and just stay home.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, they really shouldn't have one now that I think about it.
Especially like that was basically student housing. It was like a mile from UCF. That's basic student housing. Like, and like these are all young people that probably live here mostly. Like, to leave them not vulnerable. That's why, like, since he committed suicide, the maintenance man who was a suspect, for them to get justice for her, they're trying to do like other things now. So they're trying to get like the complex to be held liable. Because in a way, they kind of should be. Cause I think they said they had complaints before about him.
That's the thing, when people don't do action, then it's like crazy.
Yeah. Especially because they said she worked at the place, like the leasing office, and they didn't. That's how they knew each other. Because he was harassing her, and they didn't even make a statement doing their condolences. Like, that was your employee. It's not like she just lived there; she worked for you guys too, and you didn't even make a statement. I'm like, take them down. The people who live there, they probably trying to get their rent. get their rent reduced or something. They out there protesting.
No, they're gonna shut that whole building down.
I know.
They're about to find somewhere else to live.
Cause that's like gonna be eerie. Like, who's gonna want to live in that unit?
Because I was just about to say, if you go to any hotel or if you go to when we had our dorms and stuff like that, it's key card entry, so the perception is a little bit different. But no, all of those maintenance people had access to get into our rooms. Like you saw, your RA has the key to get into your room. Hotels,
and they tell you coming in.
Yeah, hotels, when they're cleaning the rooms, they got to get in the rooms.
Yeah.
Everybody has access when you rent these places. I think that this is just one of those things where it's like, I think for apartments they can make an adjustment. Hotels and even school, though, it's like school they do, because they do need to like fix things when next people come in.
They do need to do their checks. Like the thing was like the fire safety, right? They need to make sure you don't have nothing that's gonna.
They don't do it at some of the other universities.
Maybe.
I know they don't. They don't do it at RU at all.
Yeah, I don't think anybody who go there actually ever told me about that.
They never did.
Hey, Montclair, they want to make sure that building number now they didn't pay it off yet. They make sure people don't have no tapestries. So, people put it up right back up when they know they're coming. They take it down, they put it right back up. But
yeah. So in those cases they need to, but we can definitely make the argument about apartments.
Yeah, because this is your home.
Yeah.
Like, you live here. Like, this is a place you're supposed to be safe. I mean, your dorm too. You should feel safe.
Yeah, because for real, like, really think about this now. What could be that detrimental?
That you need to come in.
You need to come in, and what are you gonna do?
It just creeps me out.
What is he gonna do? Because the maintenance people aren't even
they're
real.
not like
they
professionals. They just know the bare minimum.
They're not electricians
stuff.
and they're not plumbers. They'll just be able to change a light bulb or give you some paint or something. It's not like.
And I'm not saying like, I mean, maybe that could have prevented her death. I mean, if he was that adamant to get her, he probably would have figured out another way to kidnap her or kill her or whatever. Like, but still, that was like a big thing, because I'm sure that was really the only time she was really alone. I don't know if she had a car there. She might have, though, to get to cause I think she was going to go to the airport, but she might have used Uber. But
let me just say, because I feel like I haven't even said it enough. Like, yeah, this guy is sick. Like, this is one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I've said it on this podcast. I definitely told you. I'm like, women need to. This might not even be the right thing to say. So sorry, but yeah, women need to carry weapons because it's out of control. That's why, like, even when I'm talking to you, I try to instill into you. It's like people have that invincibility thing where they feel like in a certain situation they'll be able to come out of it. You're not gonna be able to beat a man that's bigger than you. It's just unfortunate, one of those things. Like, physically, they're gonna be able to do whatever they want. And it's just, if you can protect yourself as much as possible, obviously the risk of telling people to put more firearms on the street is that, the violence may increase, but it's just in these situations, I'm so passionate about it because it's like,
I just want to know what happened.
I feel so empathetic to women because, like, I told you that one story when I'm walking and I'm like, wow, this girl's on campus, like, going down this dark path. And it's like, imagine I wanted to do something, like, I could have. And it's just like,
right there,
it's disturbing because I'm like, women shouldn't have to feel this way. I think the quote unquote equivalent is like, I wouldn't go out into the hood at certain times because I don't want to get shot. Women have to worry about not getting touched. But it's like, if she had that thing on her,
might have prevented it.
It could have prevented a lot. And then that's one of those things, just like we were having the bullying conversation. It takes a couple times for something to happen before these people are like, all right, we got to relax. A couple weird pedophile harasser people get shot and then magically the problem might disappear. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to say, but yeah, for me, those people got to get out of here.
Yeah. I'm mad that he killed himself. It was really the police fault. They're trying to hold the police accountable too, because the parents, like, it was crazy. Like, that, you could tell the girl was love. Like, the parents literally was there like the same day that she went missing. Like, because they couldn't reach her. Like, I think she was supposed to get on the flight at 10. I think they were down there before 10. So that's crazy. They really cared that much. And I think they didn't live that far. I think they lived in Fort Lauderdale. And this happened in Orlando. So they still had to take a flight because Fort Lauderdale is basically like near Miami. So they still had to take a flight to get there fast enough. But they really cared because I think the aunt was there, grandma and parents. And they actually confronted the guy like twice that same night because it was like, because he even, like, I think he was near her apartment. I was like, what are you doing? And then he was like, oh, are you looking for the girl? And they were like, how do you even know she's missing? Like, it was just weird. And they recorded him, everything. There's literally a video of him that same night.
Yeah.
And the police were like, oh, you don't seem sus. I'm like, how you don't seem sus? Like, That's what another thing too. The building owner said they was gonna come in the next day to check the key fob. So I was like, no, if your employee is missing, send somebody out now, right? Like this is like an active investigation. They said the sheriff was like, oh, contact us Tuesday if you don't hear anything, and this was Friday. Like it just they dropped the ball bad. There was no reason he shouldn't have been taken into custody that night for questioning, like literally that night, or even the next day. He had her blanket. He literally had her blanket in his hands, and they came there to search his apartment, and they let him go again. I'm like, if that's her blanket, take him in now, right? Like arrest him now, and question him. Don't let him go. Don't let him out of your sight. He could be a flight risk, whatever, you know. Just stupid. I'm mad that he killed himself because you know you want people to get justice in that way too, but took the easy way out.
They found him?
Mm-hmm. They went the next day actually to arrest him, and then they found him dead. I think they were actually going to take him in.
Oh, yeah. They were looking for her. Mm-hmm. They found him, and then they were looking for her. Got you. I thought it was
they found him while they were going to go arrest him. Like, they didn't just find him. They found him in his apartment. Like, they went to go arrest him. And then they saw he was dead already. This was 2 days later. I think this happened, like, Monday.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the details of it's just weird to me. Like, I think I told you, like, she wasn't, like, assaulted anyway, like, sexually assaulted. So, I don't know. Just makes you wonder what the motive was. If he was just that mad that he rejected her.
And that happens.
And then he just wanted to just kill her. Or people have a theory, like, I hate to speak ill on the dead, but people have a theory that maybe they actually was talking. Not really talking, but, like, she was maybe using him for stuff. Like he was sending her money. So maybe she was, like, accepting the money and taking the money. So he just felt, like, entitled to her. Like, I'm not gonna like speak ill on her at all, but you just never know. Like, you know, that's like she was 19. Like a lot of young girls do that, like the sugar daddy thing.
I'm not even gonna put that theory out there, but they can definitely get on the phone and figure that out.
Yeah, if they wanted to. I'm sure she was so creeped out because she told her parents like, "Oh, this guy's obsessed with me. He keeps texting me and stuff." But
I don't think and somebody sends you money. I don't even think you have to accept it.
That's true. Yeah.
If somebody sells you money, I don't
It's
have to press accept.
Yeah, that's true. There. But you know, maybe she just didn't say, "Oh, here's the back." Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of his motive. Yeah, like maybe she was just taking the gifts and like was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." But I still don't really want to talk to you. So maybe that's made him mad because he felt like he was doing stuff for her. Who knows? But people are crazy, and it's just sad. Like they need to not have these maintenance people be able to just go into your apartment.
And you know what the thing is?
Like he shouldn't have no access to her apartment.
A lot of like, I think the general. I'll just generalize here because I personally don't want a daughter.
Why?
But I think that women often confuse that's because men don't want to see their daughter with other men, which obviously is a part of it. You're protective of your daughter, as you should be.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a negative thing. If you overstep boundaries, that's one thing, but I don't think that that's a negative thing at all to have somebody that cares. This is specifically why. These situations are specifically why. Because there's nothing you can do about it. And being a male, you know how men are. And that's the issue. It's not so much that you don't want your girlfriend. You don't want your daughter to go out and date other men. It's specifically situations like this where it's like...
And that's why dads probably get so scared when their kids go to college and stuff, and just like
because I really think about it, right? Like you take me, right? You see Brandon too. Yeah. Have you seen Brandon recently?
We went to New York. I think that's the last time I saw.
Well, he's even taller than me now. Like he's like 6'5" now.
I saw that was when I had the pink hair. So that was only like back in August.
Yeah, so. he's like. Hey,
how do you get taller?
I have no idea. When I was just standing next to him,
I thought guys have grown at 18. Well, he is 18, right?
Yeah. When I was just standing next to him, I'm like, yo, what is going on? He's mad tall now. Like I'm like this.
That's crazy.
But you look at me now in my physical stature, and you look at him. In terms of being harmed, even though obviously guns cancel all that physical strength out, but in general, not everybody has guns. But assuming they didn't, you wouldn't be worried about me going out and getting assaulted.
Yeah.
Like sexually assaulted by anybody. And
even, guys do still get kidnapped sometimes.
Yeah, but even physically assaulted.
Yeah.
You wouldn't look at me and be like, I'm sure that guy will get grabbed up by somebody. Like, you just don't feel that way. But
it's just with the guns. Because the guys that probably get kidnapped is probably at gunpoint.
Yeah, they probably are just going to get robbed or something. Yeah. Like, it's not in the same, like, guys don't get killed for the same reasons.
Yeah, it's not like, for women to do, obviously sexually motivated.
And there's a lot of sick guys out there. So, you see your average woman, she's just not, it's like we were saying before, it's like she's just not gonna be able to defend herself, unfortunately. Like, you just can't. And that's the reason why, I won't speak for everybody, that's why I don't want a daughter, because there's nothing you can do. And it's like, you just know that, like, God, it's like you see women that are like 5'2", like 100 pounds.
That's what she was. The
She
girl,
was?
I think she was like 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, come on, man.
But she was like 130 though, because she was like super curvy. So.
But even that don't mean nothing. You 5'2",
Yeah,
you got some guy that's like,
short. And he was
taller.
tall.
Yeah, it's like the most helpless situation ever. Even if you look at that's what all the people kept referencing with the laundry case, is how small she was.
Yeah, she was like 90 something, 100 pounds.
And
like
it's like,
5'1".
I'm like, we bench press more than that.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do? And it's just that's specifically why it's just scary. When you have somebody that's a good male, that's like what the general feeling is, because we know how men are, and yeah, it's just you don't.
That's why my dad's literally always sending articles about like stuff that happens to women when they run, because he knows like my mom runs.
What is shaking?
The table. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, he knows my mom runs a lot. Obviously, like she just ran like 30 miles the other day, and that's what must be a scary thought as like a husband too. Like, your wife's out there running these long trails.
Yeah, it don't matter what
at
your
night
age
too,
is.
she gets those things, the little light bulb on her hat, but still scary out here. I used to be scared too running on those trails. I used to be freaked out sometimes because it's like it's so desolate. Like, there's some trails that goes all the way in, and it's like, this is scary. Either animals gonna come get me or a person. Yeah. There's a lot of stories like that where people are running and they get killed. Like, there's that famous story of that girl, and I think she was in the Bronx. I don't remember her. Like, that was like a famous story. Like, the guy like raped her and killed her, like while on the hiking or the running trail. It was just crazy out here. But that's why I stay inside. I don't go nowhere. But it shouldn't be it shouldn't be what we should do. It should be what men need to do. Like, obviously women do need to be safe and be protective and stuff, but there's a bigger problem. We need to figure out why these men are so sick and just like get them off the streets.
It's just like the bullying situation.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I sounded insensitive, because now you're making me kind of point out to my argument. Where I said women need to carry guns. Like, yeah, obviously.
No, but it makes sense. Like, they should. We should also, like, we know what the issue is, but since there's not really an easy way to solve that issue, the best way to at least fight that battle is get guns. So yeah, it's still a valid argument.
Or knives or pepper spray. Yeah. No, I know it's a valid argument. I just meant more so that, like, we have to address the problem first, which is these sick men. Unfortunately, we can't identify that. Because
that's what people were saying. If you watch that video, he seemed like people say when they watch the video, they feel like they believed him. Like, he seemed like he was like a normal guy.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, for no reason. And that's why, like you said, the whole fear of having daughters, because like her dad was like a younger dad, and they were like super close. So he's like distraught. So it's just messed up.
That's why, like, as cringy as it is when dads take, it's cringy. I wouldn't do it, but people always wonder why dads do the whole take a picture at prom with the gun in his hand. Like, you shouldn't do that to your girlfriend's boyfriend. Why are you saying girlfriend?
Oh, your daughter. Sorry, your
daughter's
boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
But even so, you never know, because the boyfriends could be crazy. See, with this situation, they trusted him to go on a road trip with their daughter. And now she's dead. Yeah. And they were fiancés, like.
But it's just like, if you guys can't tell, these stories frustrate me a lot.
Yeah,
so
it's just sad.
Yeah, I'd be ready to. Fuck if never mind. Let's talk about Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, we'll close out with Dave Chappelle. Talk about his closing. That was you see that segue? Dave Chappelle was the closer, and this is our closer.
Let's go.
But yeah, he had his closing episode on Netflix for his special, his deal. I think it was 3 episodes before. And he got a lot of backlash, and I just wanted to talk about how I feel like I like the special. I feel like nothing he said was wrong. I feel like people are really sensitive, and I feel like people don't get humor. They don't get comedy. They don't. And I get sometimes some stuff should be off limits, but like how he even made an example about how he had the trans friend who laughed at all the crazy stuff, and he said and that's why like they were friends, like because like they both were minorities in a way. You know, she's trans and a woman, he's black, and he's like they like there was like an understanding, like we could laugh at the issues. You know, doesn't mean he's against them, doesn't mean he hates them. And I feel like people are just so extra with the outrage that's going on and trying to cancel him. It's very extra because you could tell he doesn't hate them at all. It's just jokes. He makes jokes about black people. He had the whole Chappelle show, which was satire about black people. Like, I bet you was laughing at that. I bet they laugh at that. But the second that they're joked about, it's like, cancel him. Take the special off Netflix. Petition. It's like whack, right?
I think the more interesting thing is he didn't even say anything negative.
He didn't say anything crazy. He literally just made jokes.
You know, I think what he kind of used them as a vessel to explain a larger issue, which is it was explained. I mean, I got it. Maybe it's because we're black. I got it. He was trying to just explain that there's no outrage for somebody getting murdered, but the second somebody says anything negative about a specific group of people, then you basically get your entire life stripped away.
Yeah. But black people, you say anything and it's jokes. It's funny. Everybody's laughing.
And it wasn't so much about that community as much as it is about just the treatment of black people, because he could have used any group of people as a way or a vessel to explain that point, but it literally was just an exemplified version of the black plight, which is, you know, we're a minority against like a minority of the minority, where, you know, you're still not even getting the fair treatment, and you see some other group that's basically impervious to everything. So I understand the frustration. It's like one group has to deal with it for hundreds of years, and the other group hasn't had to deal with that as long, and they've had way more progress quicker, and do also at the same time piggyback off of the fight that, you know, the black group has put forth. A lot of the civil rights sorts of laws and things were implemented because of black people, and then other groups that feel that they're discriminated against get to piggyback off of those
and benefit.
And then to then like talk down, or I guess I'll say talk down to that group that helped get you to where you're at is crazy. I don't know. I understood what he was saying. I don't think that he even said I thought he made a joke. Like, I didn't even think anything in there was really jokes.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't that serious. Like, there was some stuff he said, we was like, ooh, but it wasn't like that crazy. I don't know. I think like he was saying, there's just been an agenda against him since he made those comments like 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, and there's just like.
No, it wasn't even from that long ago.
He said right after the Chappelle show ended.
That was the
So it was like 2005.
I think he's talking about currently with the. I think he was speaking more. So that was the story about the.
No, he said something about punching down on the trans people. He said that was after the Chappelle show ended. So he said ever since then there's been a thing against him with trans people in the gay community. Like he said, ever since that moment, they actually feel like that there was like an issue, whatever, with him.
It's so interesting, but even that exemplifies a point. He could say anything he wants about white people, and it's fine.
And how the white people aren't as outraged.
They're not. The white people are the one that put it on Netflix,
and they're in there.
Yeah,
they're in the audience.
They're paying tickets. So it's interesting, but that's what he wanted to start the discussion with, is like having that conversation.
And remember, I said I wanted to have that conversation. Remember, like I think it was, I forgot which podcast episode it was. First one. And I was like, we need to have a whole separate conversation about that group and their entitlement and to stuff. Like, I feel like we all need to have freedom to do what we want and have rights and all that, but they act like they're like on the highest of pedestal, and like it's just crazy to me. Like I think they're overly sensitive. I feel like they overcompensate. Like they kind of do a lot.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy to say that, but I think they do. Coming from a black woman, I think they do a lot. And in the sense of wanting to feel like, especially like when it's a white gay person or white trans, it's like I feel like they know black people. It's like they want to be oppressed, like the oppression Olympics. They want so badly to feel like they can relate. I think somebody said something about how They said that is the same thing. She's like, oh, it's like, it's kind of like what black people go through, that's what we go through. Like, it's like, don't even try that. Like, I'm sorry. Don't even. You can't compare the two at all. So it's just like I can't turn off my black skin. Some people, it's probably very obvious what they are, but there's some people that you wouldn't even know are gay, and they're gonna try to make that comparison. I can't turn off my black skin and hide that, but you might be able to hide your sexuality. So I just feel like the fact that they even tried to make that said that it's the same thing. It's just crazy, and I feel like that's like a whole nother conversation. I would be interested to see what he has to say, but that's like a whole separate conversation.
Yeah, and the funny part too is that like everything that he was saying, the reaction to it was exactly what he said.
Yeah,
it was like when you play it into what the person exactly said was going to happen, it made it even better.
It happened right away.
It happened immediately, and everything that he said is like it clearly went
like in one ear out the other. Like even those two women that were in the audience, you could tell they were mad.
It's like,
and they probably went there trying to find something to be mad about, like thinking that he was going to say something like, why would you go?
And the thing is, you wouldn't even be able to sit down and have a regular conversation outside of a comedy show to have the same topic discussed. It just wouldn't be heard at all. And, and anything that you say that's not you putting a pride flag in your profile picture, anything that's not like that, then you're looked at as being phobic, whatever words they use nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I want to clip this conversation and put it on YouTube, but I know we would get killed.
We would. Because we really got killed last time by somebody.
For the same thing, which was the baby.
The baby, yeah.
And literally all we said was like, why is...
I literally watched that.
And there was nothing negative.
To post a clip on Twitter, and we didn't say anything negative.
To say somebody's phobic because they say that, like...
She was like, you straight people are like always homophobic. What? I forgot what she said. Maybe she didn't call us homophobic, but she said something along the lines about straight people.
She was like, why do straight... I think she said black people too.
Yeah, straight black people
always give excuses to people that are homophobic. It's like, whoa.
Like, nobody even defended homophobia.
Literally in the first 30 seconds of what our conversation was what was he going for? Like, this was insane.
Literally half the conversation was us coming at him saying that he was crazy, but we just opened up that discussion about... We just made the same thing that Dave Chappelle saying. Literally the same thing. It's just like he said, why were people more outraged about Bruce Jenner changing his gender to female versus when Cassius Clay changed his name? Because apparently, like, we weren't live for that, but there was a lot of outrage about that.
Yeah, and then anytime he asked anybody to call him Muhammad Ali, nobody did it.
But everybody's like, Caitlyn Jenner is so brave.
And then got Woman of the Year.
Yeah, and then got Woman of the Year the same year she became a woman. That is sick. And that's why we're not being transphobic, homophobic, none of that. We're just saying that we need to, why is there a difference?
That's it. That's the only question.
That's really it. And someone can answer that.
And that's all
give us the answer. Why are black people still always at the bottom? Why do you guys hate black people and hate Muslims so bad and hate Islamic culture and everything so bad that him being Muhammad Ali bothered you? He changed his name. Like, this is crazy. And why were you guys why was everybody listening to the baby's music? Everybody loved his music up until this. But he killed people. He has history of domestic violence. And that was an issue. But his comments on the gay community was. And that's not us being homophobic. That's us just saying, why are they on a pedestal? Someone give us the answer. Right? But they won't be able to give you the answer because the answer is people don't care about black people. That's really the answer. People don't care about black people. They think we're strong. They say that black women don't feel pain. They said some doctors actually taught that black women don't feel pain. That's why a lot of us die in childbirth. Because apparently we don't feel pain as badly as white women. This one doctor lady said that that's what he learned from his colleagues. They said that. He exposed that. That's crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I didn't really like the special, not gonna lie. Yeah, it wasn't really super funny to me, but I think that...
Yeah, I feel like he kind of wasted the special, and he could tell he's hurt by it. Not even hurt, but it's annoyed. He kind of wasted the whole special talking about them.
But it made sense given the whole outrage that came from the initial...
Yeah, you had to follow
specials that he did. So and as a whole package, when you go back and watch all of them, all together, then it tells a story and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I just hope that in future stuff he stops talking about. He said he'll stop, but I hope he does because I want him to get back to like the stuff he was talking about before. Like,
But that goes again, like anytime he's joking about black people, it's rah 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 ha ha funny.
People or mad that Chappelle show was canceled. Or even that's all it was about.
Or even when he makes all his jokes about white people, 99% of the show is about white people.
Yeah, he said in the show too. He's like, I don't got a problem with trans and gays. He's like, I don't like white people. And even that, you could tell he was still joking. Like that's still a joke. He just said that it's just that obviously that he does have more of an issue because of the history in our country, but I still think that was a joke. Obviously, his white friends, like, I don't think he hates white people.
Yeah, so I don't know. It kind of just played into the hypocrisy. I would go further, but I don't want to get canceled. I don't want to get that same reaction.
Yeah,
I'm not Dave Chappelle, of course, but yeah, it's it literally just hit the whole special exemplified the issue with society.
Yeah,
I'm sure nobody that was so outraged even watched the full thing. For sure.
Because it was an hour and a half. Like, I'm sure they didn't sit there and watch the whole hour and a half.
I promise you they didn't.
They just watched clips, too.
I watched it to the credits, and that's exactly what Dave said. He said, I'll watch credits. Yeah. It's like literally everything that happened was exactly what he pinpointed in the comedy special, and that exactly is the precise issue with everyone. So it's like anybody that was outraged, like, you're part of the problem. Yeah. Like, you are the issue.
Yeah. Because you're not even trying to understand anybody's perspective, anybody else's, like, anything else. You're not even trying to understand the world of comedy. Like, just because that's not your cup of tea, but that's his thing. Like, we all are different. Like, even though how dark humor is a whole subject, there's a whole segment. Like, this girl, literally, her sister died. Or no, her mom died. Her and her, it was two of them. Both they were siblings. Their mom died. They literally made a TikTok with the casket in the background. And people were so mad about it. Like, oh, how could you guys do that? We're all human. Everybody has their way of coping. If that's what if they felt like that was their way of coping, she literally said, my mom was crazy. Like, not in like a mean way. She said we always, like, our humor was very like sick. She said they would judge the mom and the sisters because they had a really like dark humor. And she's like, my mom is probably laughing right now. She would love us doing something like this. Like, everybody's different. Everybody has their things that they find funny and how they cope with things. And comedy is a whole subject in the whole world that people really love. Like, they could see the jokes in it. Like, we could be funny. Like, we could laugh about stuff because you don't have to be uptight all the time. Like, it's funny.
Pete Davidson's dad died in 9/11, and you go watch any of his comedy specials, and he talks about it too. And that's just how people deal with shit.
Yeah, and like, who are you to say that is wrong? Now you're trying to cancel him and take money from his pockets because he wants to make jokes. Because you want to be sensitive and take it to heart. Like, it's not that deep. It's not. And his jokes aren't crazy.
And it's one thing if he's just joking.
Yeah.
But he's not joking. Like, that's the difference between somebody like, okay, I'm not going to say anybody specific, but that's the difference between Dave Chappelle and other comedians.
I know
because it's comedians that are intelligent and they tell jokes to tell a story, to talk about issues. That's what Chris Rock has always been good at his whole career.
Dave Chappelle's good at that. Like, he always drops history lessons. Like, even how he talked about Sojourner Truth. A lot, like, that was a whole, like, he always has history. Like, he goes back to like referencing real stuff.
Yeah, that's what a lot of Chris Rock's comedy is about, is bringing jokes and to highlight a larger issue, because it's easier to digest as humans things that are more comfortable, which is jokes and laughing. It's not easy to hear,
like a TED Talk,
to hear him saying how his trans friend jumped off a building. Like, that's not easy to listen to. So you can tell
it hurt him.
Yeah,
like, he seemed like, even telling us the jokes, he was still kind of like hurt.
Yeah, and that's just the way people digest things, is, tell the joke and then introduce the issue.
Yeah.
He's not just saying the joke just to get the laugh.
Yeah.
A lot of comedians, and that's what people think comedy is. And it should be for some people, and it should be intelligent for other people. Mm-hmm. And I don't say intelligent to mean that the other group isn't intelligent, but it's the people that have the larger discussions, and then people that just do things to get the laugh. Kind of like in rap, where you have the people that talk about issues in the black community,
people who just make dancing music. Yeah,
people that make music to get
paid.
And
there were so many people in this world, and we don't know what he might have went through as a kid, that that's just his way of storytelling. And just like, respect that. If it's not for you, then go somewhere else. You don't have to watch.
Yeah, but to
let
not
people enjoy it.
To not even try to.
Not even try to understand. People feel like it's like an ego thing. People feel like their mindset is the right way. And it's the right way to feel and the right way to think. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So shout out to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he said he's not gonna do another special for a long time, but I'm sure I'll go out and see him at a live show one of these days.
Because we had our failed attempt at seeing a comedy show with Eddie Griffin when he canceled his show. So we need to get that off our bucket list. I really want to go to a show, and Dave Chappelle will be the person I would want to see. So we'll figure it out now that he's done with his Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, anything else last minute you want to close out with? I don't know if anything else really went on.
No, I don't even feel like looking for nothing because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy.
We should do a podcast. I like talking about current events, but it would be cool. Maybe we should do it Off the Dome podcast. That could be the title. Off the Dome.
Thank you guys for watching the Couple of Things podcast. I am Alex. This is Mao.
What else? And we talked about a couple of things.
Goodbye.
We talked about a lot of things.
We talk about 6 things.
Yeah, it's like our pumpkins.
It's a Couple of Things podcast where we talk about 6 things.
People who are watching, look, we got pumpkins. Trying to be festive.
No, don't show that one.
Why, get the gum so I cover it?
Yeah, guys, I put gum on our pumpkin decorations to be
I'm
funny.
trying to be festive. We need to get some fall candles too, and we're going to get a fall.
Yo, it's almost Halloween. It's over. It's too late.
It's almost Halloween. Oh, yeah.
It is definitely almost Halloween.
October's kind of flying.
Thank goodness. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys cancel us even though we're not popping.
Yeah, if it does get popping.
Yeah, if it does get popping, make sure you guys go back to this pod.
If our podcast ever blew up, I feel like we would get canceled.
We would get canceled for sure. Make sure you go
Especially
back.
me.
If it got popping, future us, if our podcast is popping at this point in the future, make sure you go back to these clips and make sure you guys go ahead and cancel us.
And we don't care.
And I don't give a fuck.
Because in our careers, we still make good money, so.
Great money. I'm Alex.
We're okay.
This is Mao. This has been a Couple of Things podcast where we talked about a couple of things. And we will see you guys next week. Look a shot. All right, we out of here.